main concept of economics is depends on the graph. They show everything on the graph.
Let's use a concrete example to talk about relating an idea to a graph. So I was just telling my kid this the other day. He had 2 kids in the back of the truck with him. We're driving to a tennis match. And there's a young girl going in, she's a junior in high school, and she's doing economics. And so I said to her, and she's very smart, I said to her, can you tell me what marginal utility is? And then I asked all of them, what's the relationship between marginal utility and total utility? And everyone thinks they get it, but then they don't get it. And then when you start talking about numbers or drawing it on a graph, they really don't get it. And so here's a little example, right? So if you have the next hamburger, the marginal utility is the extra happiness you get from one more hamburger, right? So the first Big Mac gives you a lot of happiness. And then the second one gives you more happiness, but less than the first one. And then the third hamburger you're getting full, so it might be making you a little bit more happy, but less than the second one. So marginal utility is going down, but total utility is going up. Well, that's hard. That's not easy to picture all these things in your head. And so on the graph, that's what you'll see, right? You'll see diminishing marginal utility will go down right away, right from the beginning, and total utility will go up. And so the first hamburger you see on the graph, go to the chart first and then look at the graph. You go 1 unit of whatever it is you're doing, hamburger or buying a basketball or whatever. The first unit to the second unit to the third unit, and get the story in your head and look at the graph. And then on the exam, they'll give you a question. You'll have to fill in the blanks with missing values or something like that, or where on the graph are we, or is that graph increasing at an increasing rate or increasing at a decreasing rate. And that's the way we'll test you.
And I found that the best way to memorize these graphs is just repetition, repetition, repetition. So just get out a clean sheet of paper, blank sheet of paper, and just sit here and draw the graphs over and over and over, the full graphs. Don't shortcut anything. Label everything, understand all the different axes and the lines, and when you write them over and over again, they stick in your head. And so when you take the exam, you see, oh, this is a supply-demand curve. I know exactly what it looks like in my head, so I can draw it on the test.
You need to shut the book, open up a clean piece of paper, and start from scratch at the top of the paper and see, can I go all the way down and write some of the data? Can I draw the graph, label the axes properly, work the little math problem, do the fractions, calculate an elasticity or whatever the problem is, and then explain that to my study group. We tell students you're supposed to study 2 hours out of class for every hour in. If you do that, you'll be able to do what I just said. If you don't do that, you will not be able to do what I just said.
I try to understand the concept first, and then so I try to practice the homework. If we draw the graph, there are sometimes like when the price increase, like the demand will decrease. So like I know that concept. That is the basic concept. Like, okay, so in the exam, when like the professor asks you, okay, the price of the cone will increase to $5. Just draw the graph. What will happen? So you just draw to the graph like when the price increase. So what you need to do is like just understand the concept. So as long as you understand the concept, you can like draw the graph.
Once you've studied the terms on your flashcards, then it makes it a lot easier to draw the graphs because you already know what the terms mean. You already know how they apply to the different concepts.
Sometimes like the graphing, like there are a lot of like confusing problem, like complicated one. So for this part, like I try to listen to the professor carefully. If I don't understand in the class, like I go to their office and ask them. Like they are really helpful. And one of my professors, like I went to his office and he spent like 1 hour to explain it to me.
There's nothing, you don't need to be shy or whatever. Just ask, raise your hand, ask questions. If you got questions on, I don't understand this problem, just ask any question anytime.